Hello. How's it going? I've got some tunes on today. Let me know if they're like too loud or just right. I'm not sure. Golf's okay, thanks. Golf's going well. I've not played actually for the last few days, but is the music good? Too loud? Or maybe that's better. I'll start this stream by saying that if the stream goes down again like it did yesterday, give me like 15 minutes and I'll move to YouTube. I'm hoping it's not gonna do the same shit. What was the wallpaper? What am I? This one. It's an NFT from an artist I like. Pretty cool, right? I like it. Any girl updates? No, unfortunately. I don't think I've been out since last girl update. Sorry, I'm eating a pastry. I'll try and keep it quiet. We're going to call Magus pretty soon. In fact, I'll drop him a message. Am I going to go to Barcelona? Yeah, more than likely. I've been waiting for my passport to come through. It came through yesterday, so I'm at least going somewhere. It's either going to be Berlin or Barcelona, probably. I like those places for a weekend. What happened to the old Twitch streams? Well, I got permabanned, like insta permabanned yesterday mid-stream. And they deleted all my videos. And then suddenly my Twitch is back up and running today for some reason. I kind of get the feeling someone did some sort of report bot on me yesterday and they took me down instantly due to the severity of the claims, and then realised today actually there's no case. Pretty annoying though. But I got an email saying I was permanently banned for sharing malicious websites, phishing websites. But from now on, guys, all the streams are going to be uploaded to YouTube after the stream. So if you go on my bio and my Twitter, there's a YouTube link there. I look kind of Turkish. It's funny, I get called everything. Some people think I look Spanish, some think I look Indian, some think I look Arabian. Are you going to review how to use this type of chart? Yeah, can do. I can talk you through a trade I just taken before the stream if you like. Basically, and it's all public, you can see it, you see my entries on Twitter, but basically we put in these weak lows on ETH with no excess. You see how the volume's low on these, means there's not really been a test. And then we have trap longs here on Binance. They keep longing, and then we get the spike up, and you see how the longs close. They're getting out of those poorly positioned longs. Does that make sense? So closing the longs here. So I shorted 1036, expecting these lows to get cleaned up, and then I closed at 1001 here, just for that sweep. And you can see longs got puked, trapped some shorts, and then it's obviously bounced. So that's my thought process for the trade I just taken this morning. Hopefully that's useful for you. Yeah, I am going to grow the YouTube. I'm going to try and do some like specific videos, maybe even just like market sort of overviews, like shorter videos. So, did you actually take the long of 1K you tweet? No, that was my close. That was closing my short, that order. It wasn't an open position. It was a close. Like it was the short close. FTX next shorts. What is that on Bitcoin or on ETH? Yeah, it's going to be fun to do to YouTube. It'll be something a bit different. Might even get some guests on for some short videos and talk about their process and stuff. I've got quite a few ideas. I quite enjoy making content, to be honest. Something a bit different. My YouTube channel's it's not in my bio yet, but if you go to my Twitter, it's in my bio. Right, I'm going to call Magus. I'm just going to use the oh, sorry, I just read out Magus's thing. Magus is going for a restroom break. Silico collab. I'd love to, but I don't think he's interested. There'd be some pretty cool conversations though. Thanks, Famous Leaf. Hope you're doing well as well. So guys, what do you want me to go over whilst we wait for Magus? What do you want to see? Am I buying gold and silver? Not yet. Not yet. I think as far as gold and silver goes, I think they both look kind of shitty, to be honest, sadly. I mean, if this was an altcoin, I'd kind of, sadly, I hate to admit it because I'm a metal bull, but I kind of think silver's coming back down to this level. And if it does, I'll probably buy some physical silver again. And then, I mean, gold's really not looking too hot here, is it? It looks like it's going to break down. It's really trying to cling on here. I think it might actually come down to, and I think 1500 is kind of a safe bet for downside, to be honest. So, do I think we have a bounce relief soon? It depends what you mean by bounce relief. What kind of magnitude of bounce relief? Like I said on CBS's stream yesterday, I don't think the lows are in. I think we clean these up, but I mean, I just wouldn't fade this momentum just yet, personally. Let's look at lower time frame, 15-minute div. Yeah. Let's see what. See, I think the problem I'm having at the minute is I get the signal on crypto, but we're just kind of at the liberty of whatever the ES is doing. And this looks kind of horrible, doesn't it? So I wouldn't long this yet, personally. The only place I'd even contemplate a long in the short term is down at these lows. So there's one close just to take scalp profits. Yeah, I just like basically, guys. Like I mean, what was it? 3% I caught. You know me by now if you watch the stream enough. High probability trades are my favourite. So that was 3.3%. Quick move. I don't know what it's going to do after that, but I know that the chances of that trade coming into fruition are 80% probability trade for 3.5%. That's pretty good to me. And that's what it's about in this market. Could I target? And the reason I closed there is with 1000 being such a psychological level, there's the potential for it to do some sort of silly bounce in that situation where shorts take profit at 1000, so that's my reasoning. But it's that kind of market, guys. Could I target down here? Yeah, potentially, but the probability reduces the further out your exits are, so if you can capture 2 or 3% on an easy trade like that, why not, What do I think about daily time frame high low? Well, it doesn't really look like a high low to me yet, It's just broke this one as well, so it's just still trending. I just wouldn't get in the way of this for anything more than a short-term bounce. Like, I think people are being quite greedy and unrealistic. Like, we had 44% bounce on ETH. That's a big bounce. That is a big bounce. Like, You know, people were quite content knife catching 36% dips on a bull run, but as soon as you get 44% bounce in a bear run, people are reluctant to short it. It's just a mentality thing. People are much more inclined to long dips than sell rips. So, you know. ES is going to 0. Bounce to 20k. There's no real reason. Why would the market break down from 20k to then retest it? Does that make any sense to you? Like we had like a full 24 hours consolidation here, and then this is an initiative move. Yeah, this is an initiation. So like I always talk about it. This is a balance. This is a balance. You see how we tested outside of balance and failed. Yeah, I always say the market's an auction. This is the auction. This is where people position for the auction. They test outside of value to the upside and it failed. So now it's had an impulse to the downside. So if we look at it on the profile, how that looks is, because a lot of people recently, they talk about single prints and they target single prints, but when you break down from balance, so this is the balance. I'll put the candles on so it's clearer. This is the balance. We tested outside of balance, the upside rejected, and then you get an impulse. And now price is actually being capped by the single print, okay? Because that's where the initiation happened. So this is, I mean, you might be lucky enough to get back up into this level, but at the minute it doesn't look too good. But these single prints on initiation moves should act as resistance and cap price, okay? Right, let me call Magus. See what he says. No, I don't use desktop X, so only because I'm a bit of a noob, but trying to set it up. No, I started about 10 minutes ago. Sorry for the noise of the Discord, it's a bit loud, isn't it? Epic, he's not there. Oh, there he is. Hello.
Yo, yo.
Hey, mate.
You live already?
Yes, been live about 15 minutes.
Hey, good thing I asked that.
One sec, I might need to turn. In fact, I will need to turn you up. In fact, I need to turn the music off, I think. The music stopped. Literally and figuratively. Right, do you mind just saying something?
Yo, yo. Hey, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Right, how's that, guys? Is the volume good? Balanced?
Can't hear dick shit.
It's fine. I'm just
Alright.
going to turn you up a little bit.
There we go.
Good. Sounds good. Awesome. How's it going, mate? Been a while.
Yeah, I'm good. It's been like 2 months almost.
Mm.
Good, man. Nothing to complain about.
Say again?
I'm curious, did I miss the explanation of what happened with your stream?
Oh, yeah. So I get the feeling... I've not really had an email. The only email I got was the one saying I was permanently banned for sharing malware. That's what they said. They said I was sharing malware and phishing sites. But I think someone must have done some.
You can't really
sort
control
of,
that if somebody starts linking that in your chat. I mean, you can like delete it or whatever, but you can't stop it.
Exactly.
I assumed it was for saying the R word, because technically you can get banned for saying that, even though I say it all the time.
Did I say the R word? I can't remember.
I'm sure you do.
Probably. It
Just
might have
comes
been
out
me.
instinctually.
Yeah. But anyway, it's somehow back today. But yeah, what have you been up to, man?
I've been good. Just I doing the cliche health focus thing, to be honest. I've just been really focused on that.
Nice.
And then taking the trades where, my trade activity's gone down a lot, but wherever there is really good trades, I'll take them, which ends up being like, one or two trades a week, more or less, where you get outside of value.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just taking it easy and focusing on trying to be healthy.
Sweet.
The bull market really did me in a negative way. I got really irresponsible with the health stuff.
And you don't realise, do you, until you start to correct it, you don't realise how like run down you've felt. That's me personally. Like, it kind of dawned on me how run down I'd got myself through the bull market.
Yeah, one of the things that was scariest the most was like body movement, like flexibility, right? You know, touching my toes, bending over, doing all like, you know, different stretches and stuff and realizing like I'm old all of a sudden. So yeah, we're in repair mode right now, more or
Oh,
less.
dude, talking of that, I put a load of IKEA furniture together yesterday, and I literally feel like I've been doing deadlifts today. I'm so out of shape. I feel fucked. I got out of bed making old man noises.
What about you though, man? How have you been?
I've been doing the same thing,
Has
mate.
been?
I take pretty much. I took a little scalp this morning on ETH, but apart from that, I pretty much trade exclusively Sunday night to Tuesday. That's fine. That's when the like main active participants are in the market, and then it just kind of, you know, ends up being a back end week of covering positions, and it gets quite boring. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, what are you in any positions currently?
No, I was short and I flattened out.
Yeah.
We're getting into the area where I might be looking to long
Okay.
to take it back up to the mean probably. But yeah, I'd like to see it trade down lower. We still probably have another 1,000 points to go or something, I'd say. And
Yeah.
then I do think we have a potential long opportunity there. Nothing
So
crazy. I won't even try to take it up to the range high or anything. I'll probably just take it up to the mean.
yeah. So I'd probably look for back up into 19.4 or something. Maybe a bit lower, 19k. Is
Yeah,
that
it depends on how aggro I want to be with taking profit. Up to 20k tops probably, and I wouldn't. Yeah, I would be trying to front run 20k.
so? I've just been saying, I'm not sure we get a 20k retest based on this initiation out of balance. Um,
Well, you know, with like levels and stuff, I always kind of have them drawn, but yeah, it's important to know that you never know if you're going to get to any of these areas and stuff. So, what I've recently been explaining it as is they're like guidelines, but you know, you pay attention to flow of momentum and you know me, I love front running people. So, as soon as
same,
I think that the trade is over, I'm out of that shit.
same, mate, same. I usually front run the levels that I'm expecting to get tested because I always find that, you know, if you're trying to irk out, let's say, another percent or something with the sweep of a low, it's always that it adds so much time to your trade that it's just not worth it, in
Yes.
my opinion.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Could not agree more. Experience will tell you that yeah, when you're greedy and you try to get that 0.5%, you're gonna end up round tripping your shit and realizing that you should have exited a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's doing the same thing, right? It doesn't matter if you're a price action guy, you're like some indicator guy, you're a flow guy, or whatever. Everyone more or less knows the same areas to trade.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
front run everybody.
Um,
On exits, at least. On entries, you know, maybe the opposite, almost being more more patient
yeah.
than anything.
Weight training. What's this guy? Tiger was. Oh, this guy's saying, shouldn't I be in shape for play golf? I'm in good shape. I'm not in great shape. I used to be in great shape. Like, I used to be in seriously good shape, to be fair.
Aren't you like a triathlete or something, right? Or like a
Well,
long
just a
distance?
long distance runner. I used to be a 5k and 10k runner. I used to do like high mileage, really high mileage, like 40 plus miles a week. And now I sit at my computer and smoke a joule and eat pastries. um, right, what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now. I've got pastries on the brain. Um, so, high time frame. Any change in bias since last time we had you on?
I would imagine not. Um, if yeah, I mean, so quick TLDR is how I look at it is the break of 30k was as sad as it is to say that's more or less like acceleration of the downtrend in a lot of ways because that was the area like not necessarily 30k but like the lows right like the 28 you know area that should have been defended more than it did right we should have at least gotten a weak ass dead cat bounce off of that in my opinion so that break really locked in the strength of the downtrend for me
Mm-hmm.
so even though like from a whatever you want to call it, price target or percentage to bottom or whatever you want to look at it. We're getting closer and closer to it every time we go lower. But with like that break, I think that the bottom is going to be much, much more painful and take a lot longer to form. It's going to be a lot more like the disgusting bottoms we had in like 2018 or whatever, where it's just like keeps bleeding down. And
Yeah.
even though you're buying the lows, that you're gonna be like chopped around on your buys for like months and months at a time and be sitting underwater on your buys probably and end up not holding it long enough as what will happen to most people. So yeah, TLDRs, I think it's just gonna be a lot like longer resolution now
Same.
with this break.
I don't think there's the sustained I don't think there's the kind of sideline capital needed to sustain any sort of momentum to the upside for the for the midterm. Like it's going to be, I think it's going to be months of slow consolidation before
I
buyers really start to overtake.
The whole sideline thing is a meme. People like maybe you could say that like 3 years ago or whatever, but more recently in the past 6 months to a year or whatever, it's actually the opposite. People want to be sidelined right now. You want to be liquid. It's actually like a whole fight for who can be liquid right now, and that's what's happening when you look at assets right now. So yeah, that's like your whole psychiatrist like meme is the liquidity in the room with you right now. Like that's really perfect for this one because yeah, that's just straight up copium.
And I've said it multiple times on multiple streams that we've had the cycle of mass adoption where the most people, like the amount of people that entered the market. I've said the argument for a while now that the more people enter the market, the longer it's going to take to redistribute that wealth, and to the point of where they've got money again to buy back in. So I could see it, being another 2017 to 2020, maybe longer. It could be longer this time. I don't know. But I just wanted to make this point actually, because something I look for as far as high time frame structure goes, just to give it an indication of like Magus was saying that we might be close to that sort of bottom, and I tend to agree. And the point I'm going to make is if we look at these consolidations. Usually in a trending market, the consolidations get shorter before each breakout, you see. So we've had 85 days. Oh, what happened to that one? 30 days, 15 days. So usually the consolidation gets smaller, and then you get the final blow off top, so to speak. And I think we might be close to that now. And one thing to look out for is if we do get that sort of excess inefficient move off this shorter consolidation, then look out for the next consolidation to be longer than this one, because that's a good indication that we've found some sort of support level, in my opinion.
I agree that there's a lot of alpha actually in there that people probably didn't really digest, but watching how long the consolidation periods are and then watching how the breakout from consolidation comes, it's like a clear indication of the trend. I'm gonna send you something really quickly.
Sure.
This is like a really old diagram I made. I don't know if you want to show that to them really quickly. It's the bull market equivalent, but it's the same exact thing. You watch the consolidation periods. If the breakups or breakdowns start to become less, right, like relative to the prior ones, and your consolidation periods are getting shorter, you're ending the trend more likely.
We could probably actually look at the actual bull run and see.
No, yeah, I mean that is basically the bull run right there. Actually, if you overlay that on like a daily, that's the chart more or less. That's why this shit's beautiful, and it doesn't like obviously you literally just inverse the logic for the bear market and it works just the same.
Exactly, and I've found that especially in crypto, people don't hold the same, but like they change they don't think that the market can trend down just as violently as it trends up, because they're obviously bullish biased and emotionally bulls. But one thing I found with crypto is it doesn't stop until it's finished. Like, I know that sounds cliche, but crypto tends to just move until it's done. Like it won't. It's one of the markets where it really doesn't give you much opportunity to get on board unless you're quite aggressive.
And so
compared to
the
other
liquidity
markets.
thing,
Yeah.
like our market just isn't liquid the way other markets are.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably ties into like that's the same. It ties in very well to what we were just talking about the constraints and fight for liquidity. Once everybody realizes that it's fucked, like it actually becomes a battle of who can get out. And for most of the people in the chat, or it's not like a big deal. But like when you're these larger participants that Jim has talked about on his stream a lot of the time, I mean those people, it takes them a long time to get in and get out. And if they don't protect themselves properly, all of a sudden you have these huge positions and they don't know what to fucking do, right? Am I supposed to hedge my shit at 28K?
Mm.
Right? The meme that Jim's been sharing with you guys. So, yeah, it's interesting.
This is what's quite funny and interesting about the dynamics of this market at the minute is the sort of so-called smarter participants that we expect to be ready to deploy capital are the ones hedging sub 30k. Which is
Yeah, I mean
interesting.
that's pretty flabbergasting right there. When like a lot of my I'm retail by definition, and like all of my peers are for the most part too. And like the retail, a lot of the experienced retail guys trade this cycle better than people that have credentials and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's
pretty
funny
much everybody
because
I've read is still the top.
what's gonna happen is we're gonna bottom, and the funds that hedge, they're going to be the ones that initiate the next bull run by squeezing. They're going to be the ones getting squeezed out of their hedges, which is mind blowing. But it also adds to the question mark of, does that then add on a lot of time to the bear market? The fact that the people with large capital are hedging at current prices, they're not really in a position yet to deploy large capital. So where's that large capital going to actually come from? That's a big question for me personally, and it's one that like makes me a bit concerned about how long this might take.
Well, I would suspect some larger participants had to have exited a long time ago. There has to be somebody that won that's not small, right? So whoever doing hindsight, Larry, whoever was TWAPing on like Bitfinex and Binance and stuff, the dudes that were just selling thousands of Bitcoin up at the top, whoever those people were, I mean, they're in a good position to buy back in eventually.
Yeah.
Because that was my whole trade thesis for why I flipped bearish up there, was I saw these huge guys just unwinding supply unlike I'd ever seen before, and they were just doing it in a way where they weren't even trying to hide it. It was just like just slapping cells in your face,
Yeah.
and I couldn't look away from it.
Do you have any take on the aggressiveness of Binance participants over the last few weeks? Just the astronomical imbalances and volume that's gone into these like insignificant moves.
I don't really know what to say about Binance because I don't really take actionable trades off of it. I tried so many times to pay attention to them in the past because they're obviously the dominant volume. But they're not actionable for me on little time frame the way Bybit is. So I don't really pay much attention to them. So I couldn't really weigh in on it. So what are you're getting at though, that they've been aggressively selling on the way down or what?
No, they've been. I kind of think we'd have broken down much sooner and not got as high without the Binance flow,
Oh,
because
sure,
it's just
sure.
been such an insane imbalance relative to price movement that it kind of, I can't really make much sense of it personally.
Yeah. And they were actually buying a lot of spot too. Like I remember I was watching, there was a dude on the bid when we were up in like the 28K area, or 29 or something like that. Dude had like 70 mil on the bid, and it was pretty close to best bid best ask. And I was watching him closely, and yeah, somebody sold. I could probably find my tweet actually, not that I tweet about that stuff that much, but somebody sold right through a dude um when we were up at like 28 or 29K, and it was like a 70 mil bid, and they sold right through it. Like
I
it looked like
remember.
it was like a fucking $5 bid ask.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like.
Guy just like yoink. I'll have that. Thank you.
Yeah, whoever the seller was just like, and I was, based off the fact that we were at range lows and stuff, I was like, oh fuck, whoever this Binance buyer is, they mean business. Like this is probably the bottom, you know. And then some Chad seller was like, Thank you. I've been waiting for somebody to fuck up like this.
um, I've found recently though that I've not found Bybit very actionable recently. They've not really been very active on any of these moves, in my opinion.
Which contract you're watching?
The well, both actually, both. I think the USDT's probably been better than the perp. The inverse.
So, free alpha for the chat, or at least my opinion on things, is that like I try to pay attention to the Tether contract because it does way more volume than the Bitcoin contract, but the Bitcoin contract still has the. I mean, I hate to say what we've been saying for like a year and a half now. It's just a cliche on Twitter, but yeah, I mean the Binance or the Bitcoin collateralized contract on Bybit has the stupidest people I've ever seen in my life. And
Oh,
like, it's not gonna do anything for you when you're trying to trade a 10% move. But if you want to be the guy that trades the 2% rotations, like Jim likes to talk about on our stream, um, that's the way to do it. Those Binance guy or Bybit guys will fuck up and then they just unwind, and that gives you a 1-2% move, and you can do that over and over again.
I've found with the USDT contract that they basically get pressured based on how the flow the orders come in. I kind of think they get baited into hedging exposure at the extremes a lot. So you'll see them like TWAP short into lows, and then TWAP into long into highs on the USDT contract on Bybit. I think it's obviously neutralizing delta for potential breakdowns, and I think they're just getting baited hard, to be honest.
I'm looking at like a much lower time setting than you are. So I don't
Okay.
even use time, I'm using trend reversal. But when you like imagine like what my chart looks more like a 1 minute chart and yours is a 15. So
Yeah.
that's probably has a bit to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see
Bricked
some
up listening
questions.
to Jim for real, whoever that guy is, you're fucking Chad.
Wait, what did he say?
Zoomer speak. I'm bricked up
Oh.
listening to Jim right now for real.
um, oh, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, one thing I'm paying attention to is it's going to indicate a shift in trend and participation is seeing coin margined open interest. I'm expecting at some point we'll see a shift from stablecoin to coin margined in open interest, where people start, obviously collateralizing and betting that way. That's a real good indication of risk on again, in my opinion, because it's been almost all stablecoin volume over the last few months, actually, since December.
I
So
guess I would agree if you saw coin margin picking up, that might mean something. But to play devil's advocate, that might not happen because um, we might just not ever go back towards coin margin again. People might just like tether trading, just throwing that out there. That seems to be the what people like to do nowadays.
yeah,
Personally, I never trade coin collateralized contract shits anymore. I haven't traded that since like, you know, November when I had coins to trade with.
exactly. But there will come a time when I will collateralize in Bitcoin personally,
Yeah,
just because you get
I
that
get
added
that
on.
because it makes sense, right? I
Yeah,
mean, why not keep your collateral in something that's going to go up if
yeah.
you're bullish, 100%.
And I'd imagine we'll get that shift again. If you guys start seeing me post BitMEX trade positions, then you know that I'm bullish. Okay, there's your indication to get along, probably, or maybe not. You might not want to copy me, but um, yeah. If I start posting the BitMEX screenshots, it's over. um, you guys think coin people are mostly long? Oh, I don't. They're just deleveraging. There's not really been any moves on.
Well, but what he means is like the answer to that question is probably no, that they don't mostly long with it. The proper way to use coin margin is to short because you already are long when you hold the coins. So the proper way is to actually use it to lower your risk by going neutral.
Hmm.
That's the most like effective way to use it. But if you're bullish, like Jim is talking about, you keep your collateral in something that goes up and then you bet on it where you think you have edge too, and you
Yeah,
double win that way.
like one of the biggest wins was holding FTT during the bull run. Like, it's good because you got the fee structure and everything. What are your thoughts on the whole Suzu incident? I've not spoken to you since that happened.
I'm not, I mean, you know, in the moment I was surprised by it, but when you take a step back, I mean, we've seen stupid shit like this in our space, and, you know, so fuck it. Yeah, I guess I'm not that surprised by it. It's, I don't even, like, really, not that I'm an expert on this, let me preface it that way. I don't know really shit about this side of things, but the people that are lending to them seem like the people that are actually the real problem in a lot of ways. How are you giving money to people and not making sure they have collateral? Like, I'm not gonna go get a fucking mortgage or a loan or something from somebody, right? And then have them not make sure I have income and collateral to back it. What's the difference with these people, right? Just because we think they're billionaires? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is it. Like, I did allude to it, like not knowing what this situation was, but I made the case that Suzu and Kyle, they basically turned into pro marketers where anything they touched turned to fucking gold, and I think people kind of, I mean, really bought into that in a big way.
Branding matters so much, right? Their brand was so strong for a bit,
Yeah,
right?
like if they bought a pre-sale, that coin was destined to do well in the bull run. Because you didn't even question it. You're like, okay, they've obviously done their research, so.
Yeah, but I think that's actually like a common theme amongst the VC yeeters is that like they don't really actually always know what they're doing. They're actually just following other people a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it works, and they don't. The biggest issue, like, it's fine that it works, but they don't ever have any. What if scenario? They're so balls to the wall.
Sure. It's
And
just
it's the
funny because
same
what they
across.
do. Go ahead.
They always get destroyed in all markets for the same reasons because they're just degens. They're retail traders with way more money.
I was about to use that exact wording. They're basically retail momentum traders, except retail momentum trader hopefully learns that they need to counter trade themselves in their brain eventually and start realizing when momentum turns against them and shit, so they don't get run over and round trip their P&L. But they're basically the same thing as what everybody on Twitter does with momentum. Like everybody's shilling something. It's actually not stupid to hop on the trend. It is stupid though to get sucked into the trend and not realize you need to exit at some point.
Totally.
So it's the same fucking thing.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. Sometimes during the bull run, because you can be a moron in the bull run, but as long as you're aware that you are being a moron, it's okay. But I copy traded Hasaka quite a few times because it was just like easy. Because that guy's hit rate during the bull run was just ridiculous.
That ties into, not to compare him to the Three Arrows people, but it's a similar concept of it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when your brand is so strong.
Yeah.
It just happens. But even he misses, but that's just how it goes. And that's not
But,
to discount the wolf, Chad.
But the way I always say self-awareness is the greatest human trait. Like, as long as you're aware you're being a moron, there's no bad reason to be a moron.
Sure. I probably would have told you guys back in like October that I am retarded right now. I probably would have said that all the time back then because that was the play to be, honestly.
Yeah.
As long as you counter trade yourself a little bit here and there, then you were good to go.
Exactly. But yeah, Hasaka. Anytime Hasaka mentions sushi, it was just like, rub your hands together.
Yeah, and then he stopped tweeting about sushi, and that shit fucking slowly went to $1.
I couldn't believe it yesterday. It took me by surprise because I was talking to CBS yesterday about there was that phantom wick down to like $1.2 in December, and I aped in spot on that wick, and then I just double glanced the chart yesterday. I can't believe it's back below that price. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I had a similar story with him. I like caught most of the blue chip DeFi stuff on the second DeFi wave that came through in like December, January, February. I think it ended in like March. And Schiller likes to troll his friends, so he used to just always tell me that sushi was going to $1, and I was such a bulltard during that period. I was like, "You're fucking retarded. Sushi's the fucking future," and all that kind of shit. And luckily I didn't cope about it forever and we took profit and whatnot, but it's just funny that we're literally there now. And now I look at that thing and go, yeah, this thing's actually dead. There's no way Sushi's gonna come back. Some other Dex is gonna come and swoop on their volume probably, and just Sushi will just bleed off into the nether like all the other shit coins.
Right, what else we got to talk about? Have you got any thoughts on the Barry Silbert ETF shenanigans?
I read. Okay, again, I like prefacing all these things. Well, I'm not an expert on this kind of stuff, but I did read last night that it already got rejected. I don't know how true that is, but I. Whoa, whoa, whoa! All right, we're gonna pause this. Whoever links Scott Milker's Twitter in place of the of Hasaka,
Oh,
ban this man.
I nearly did
Somebody ban
time him out.
immediately. That takes priority over what we were ever
I
talking
wouldn't
about.
be here
Yeah.
now streaming if I copy traded Scott Melko.
So I'm pretty sure. Okay, so A, CBS told me last night that that shit got rejected already. I don't know how true that is, but B, isn't there something that's happening with like the equity of the Barry's fund where like they need to convert to a ETF so that they can like do something? Like, isn't there's something going on with it? I'm not educated on it, but I thought there was some sort of sense of urgency for them, like they had to accomplish this.
So just so you know, it has been
Back or
rejected,
something. Yeah, okay.
and they
Then
filed
yeah.
a lawsuit against the SEC.
Oh.
They're suing the SEC, which is like basically pissing in the wind.
Well, again, not that I'm an expert, but it does seem weird that we don't have a cash settled ETF, but we have a futures ETF, right? So the futures ETF is based off of like Bitcoin derivatives and shit. Like, should we not have an ETF based off of spot markets and stuff? Like, that makes more sense to me. Again, I don't know anything about this kind of shit. But if we do have an ETF, I don't understand why it's a futures ETF though.
I think my cynical mind is wondering and contemplating the idea of, is Barry doing this lawsuit just to prolong the pressure of GBTC participants wanting to withdraw their funds? Because the pressure on him now to unlock the collateral and give it back to the owners is quite high. So this lawsuit is going to prolong the need to do that for several months, which means he's still going to keep
But
getting
that's
his
what I was
2%.
getting at. I don't fully understand. So, like, people that have their money locked, right? They want to unlock it right now, and like they can't, or what?
Yeah,
Like,
they're
there's
not allowed. They can't unlock it.
Hmm. And my understanding was that the GBT, like, that was like a free trade for institutional traders because there was like this weird thing where they were able to basically put money in the fund and it instantly registered as P&L because they're like there's a premium associated, and that premium they put on their books as profit instantly
Yeah,
was what I was told.
but then
So
it
like a
turned.
lot of funds FOMO'd into GBTC because they were able to record profit the moment they clicked fucking buy,
Yeah,
which
but yeah,
is
I think
typical.
I do wonder if he's gonna go through a long drawn out court case in order to keep capturing his 2%.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like uh what's that fucking term where you just talk? Um Not gerrymandering. There's like a term for what I can't think of it where you just speak just to like not let anybody in the government make any actions. I can't think of the word right now.
um,
Somebody in the chat knows what filibuster. There you go. Of course, Dunning Kruger coming in hot with the answer. My
Legend.
guy.
I've never heard of that before.
I don't know if it's common everywhere necessarily, but yeah, it's filibustering is where you speak to not allow any action to happen. So a dude will literally just sit there and just not take a piss for 2 days, not joking, and we'll just sit there and just talk, and then nobody can make any moves.
Interesting. It's a burger term. Oh, you know, talking of burgers, I saw a headline today. It made me laugh. Burgers have finally uh, learnt about kettles to boil water.
What?
And it was a New York Times post. Hang on, let me find it because it made me
Yeah, you
laugh.
gotta find that.
Uh, the tweet made me laugh. Hang on, where is it? And I saw it and I was like, oh god, we've got so long to go if Americans have only just figured out the kettle. Alright, here's the tweet. Burgers have discovered the kettle. It is swift and easy way to heat water without using a stove. Unbelievable. It's like they've discovered. It's like you guys have just discovered fire. Do you have a kettle?
No. I have a machine that like makes coffee and tea for me. I'm like kind of fancy with it.
Check you out, all 21st century.
Yeah. I don't really drink much tea though. I want to because I want to cut back on my coffee intake because I drink too much. But I haven't really found a tea that I've really liked. I like just like, you know, your classic black and stuff, but I'm trying to, I don't know. Yeah, trying to broaden the horizons with tea.
I remember seeing that video that went around. It was like a TikTok. It was like a mother and daughter making tea, and it was the biggest abomination to British people I've ever seen. Like, they put the bag in the water, put the milk in, and then microwaved it and added like 15 sugars. It was horrendous.
That was like a year ago or something.
Do you remember it? Yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
But that probably goes with anything you go and see on TikTok. It's going to be the lowest common denominator of all of humanity most of the time. I like this little alert that Windows has now raining coming.
Oh no. Storm brewing. You guys got any more questions? Keeping it pretty chill today.
Yeah, haven't really been reading chat too much.
It's hard to talk about markets, really. I still think, we're going to come down and test these lows at some point. So I'm not really in a rush to get in.
SPX. You want to know what the analysis on the SPX is? Down, big time. I mean, this is beautiful. Look at the drop off in momentum here, like divs into this high, stop run, and then a nuke. Like, it's pretty clean. And I don't know what time frame you're on because I'm lagged on the stream, but if you go to high time frame, I mean, market structure on these indexes is so bad.
Well, I made the case yesterday that we're kind of rejecting off the only real consolidation before we come back down to 3,300 area, 3,350. I think it's going to come down right back into 3K levels eventually, to be honest. I kind of think we're on the precipice of it getting worse before it gets better.
Yeah, I don't like being a doomer, but you look at that chart, there's no way you can be optimistic about that.
No. I mean, look, it's had a beautiful 50 RSI reset on the daily. It's just like, this is strong momentum. And, they're going to be starting to reduce the balance sheet. It's just, it's going to get worse. The Fed knows it's going to get worse. I mean, what was that quote he said yesterday that was hilarious? Powell. He said something like, we're only just realising how little we know about inflation.
I feel bad for him in some way because he's essentially a sock puppet, right? Just, is he out here making decisions, right? Or is he just trying to fucking not get murdered?
I don't know, but he's one of us, really.
It's just funny, like, nobody knows what to do.
It's like, it would be like going to the gym on steroids and then coming out and saying, I'm not sure why my muscles have got so much bigger. It's like, what did you expect? It's kind of funny.
It all comes down to the monetary supply chart. If you look at how much monetary supply increased, I mean, that's the answer to everything. It increased so much in such a short period of time. I don't want to quote numbers because I don't remember what they are, but I think it was 40% in a year that monetary supply went up in the U.S. So,
it's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
Absolutely
crazy. I read an interesting take yesterday, or 2 days ago, actually, that I actually thought was probably a pretty decent solution. And it was basically that we just do it all over again, right? That we're probably just it'll take a long time, and we'll kind of deal with some pain for a while, but we'll just run it right. We'll run it right back probably. I read that from some, I don't know, some fucking institution nerd, and I thought that honestly we probably will just take a long time. People will deal with the pain, and we'll kind of forget about how irresponsible we were, and we'll run it back, and we'll do that until either this is the end of it all, or we'll run it back, and eventually one of those will be the end of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just keep running it back until we can't anymore. And who knows if it's already over or not.
Yeah.
But realistically, if they take a lot of time in between and then we try to run it back, maybe they can just do the same thing over and over again. I don't know. It's worked in the past. We've done it for like 100 years now.
Another point I made yesterday is with regards to like auction market theory and this like parabola that we saw, monthly parabola. Like the way I see it, like if a market doesn't auction on the way up, particularly, it's not going to auction on the way down either. So I really do think it comes all the way back down to the base of this breakout candle on the monthly, and it just retraces this entire sort of parabola, because it looks like classic parabola when you like really zoom out and look.
Sure.
That's how I would trade an altcoin chart or whatever. So yeah, exactly. People can barely pay rent and afford food. Like, it's a big deal. I mean, Christ, my bills have gone up astronomically. Like, it's terrible. Like, fuel is just ridiculous. I mean, I've got a tiny car. It's costing me a fortune. So, meanwhile, CT still minded it. Yeah, legends. They'll never change. What about those FTX shorts? Let's have a look. FTX is usually right, to be fair. These ones. Oh shit. Interesting. Yeah, these guys might be trapped for a bit, to be honest. I think I'm sitting out as far as low time frame goes. I probably won't take another trade. If it gets back up to like 19.5, I may potentially try another short, but I'm not really bothered coming into the weekend. I find that shorting into a weekend's kind of bad trade, low probability trade.
Yeah, the EV on shorting is getting worse and worse every day right now. But at least, like from a structural standpoint, as we push into the current range lows, right? It's not there right now anymore. That's why I closed out yesterday.
Yeah. I from what the trading I've been doing, like shorts are much higher probability Monday, Tuesday than they are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because you tend to just get an unwind of the week's positions, which tends to be majority, shorts closing. So just wait for Monday and do it all over again. See how high they can push it. Can you explain a little how big whales make money while being delta neutral? They get it on a maker rebate, basically. So they're providing liquidity, and they get a rebate. And when you do enough sides, it adds up, basically.
Oh, and just small. It doesn't have to always be rebates too. It can be just crossing the spread. So like imagine they win off of 0.05% wins over and over and over again from you apes clicking market buy and market sell.
Exactly. I'll try and show you like an example. So literally just capping price between like a spread, like let's say a spread like that or something. That's quite a big spread, but just providing liquidity either side and letting you idiots buy and sell into it. Not you idiots. Sorry, that was very mean. Well, some of us are idiots anyway.
Of course, some of us are idiots. There's 1,000 people here. Sorry, guys. Somebody has to be stupid here.
90% of the people in this stream are idiots. Let's just put it that way. Statistics state that 900 of you are idiots. It's not me. That's data backed. It's not my opinion, guys. So I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, but
Okay, you don't need to be smart to win in life, though. Honestly.
some of the biggest winners are morons, and it's that like moronic behavior that allows them to be degenerate and get out in time. To be fair, some of the biggest bull market winners are like the dumbest people, actually. Not going to name any names. All right. What do you think of Chimpsu's NFT collection?
Yeah, I saw that.
Are you minting?
He's just copying Imagine or whatever, you know. That's how it goes. You're a bad trader, and you get a lot of engagement and clout, and then you put out a 5K NFT project, you know.
You got so much stick for it that it's free now. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like ganging up on people like him, but though I mean, he just asks for it, right? Like, how are you gonna have such bad calls over and over and again, and then unironically make a fucking NFT project afterwards? Like, that's like, yeah, it's just I don't even know how to put it into words what he's doing. Like,
Yeah.
that is the lowest of the low.
You know, when I was talking about self-awareness earlier in the stream.
There you go. Well, I wonder when I see that, I question whether he has it or maybe he doesn't. Like, because some people probably could just turn that off, right? Because he know it's working what he's doing, right? His engagement's probably way better than mine and stuff. So in that regard, it works. So I don't know. He's either completely people like him are either completely blind to other people's opinions of themselves, or they just choose not to care. I don't know what the answer is though.
Yeah. KSI. What's KSI up to nowadays? I've not seen him.
KSI, it's funny at least though. KSI makes me laugh sometimes, at least, you know, in like a real way.
I haven't seen anything from him on my timeline since he lost 2 mil on Luna.
Oh, did he? Fuck.
I think he bought 100,000 Luna at $20 or something crazy. Is that right? Is that 2 million? Is my maths good?
Quick maths.
And then it went to zero.
I remember he was in his faces after he finally flipped bearish, and there was like the market broke down 10%, and he was just doing like a fucking evil laugh.
Yeah.
For like 30 minutes. I hopped in there, and like 30 seconds of that was really funny to me, and then it wasn't funny anymore. But yeah, that's just meme shit right there, right? Like this guy's like laughing his way like he's a Chad when in reality
he's great. I actually used to watch KSI's FIFA streams back when he had a few 100,000 subscribers, and he was just hilarious, man. So funny. And then he turned all cringe, I think, but still funny, I guess. Right, guys, what else do you want to know? Any idea if Twitch will return? Nah, Twitch ain't going to return the old videos, sadly. But they're going to be starting to go up.
Probably just an algo that got you, right? It probably wasn't even like a legitimate report, I would imagine. Then.
No, either someone like went after me, or I don't know. But
yes, for sure.
All the videos are going to be going onto YouTube from now on. It's a shame that we lost them all.
CBS sent his click farm after you.
Yeah, it's probably Chimp.
That's good.
What about CL's chart? I haven't seen it. Let's have a look.
Probably talking about the CBD one. I didn't understand that one.
Oh, yeah, he was completely off the rails with that one. CL.
The way I understood it was he was saying that's so much delta coming in that it's not a normal participant, so they're gonna make a bottom, is what he was saying.
But it's short covering, it's not buying, you know?
Yeah, I didn't look at it or anything. I don't really like looking at CBD that much anyways. I think that CBD stuff is really hard to interpret well.
I think the thing I found with CL, to be honest, is he's either side of the bell curve. He's either has the worst takes or the best takes. There's no in between. Because he's like a high, well, he appears to be a high IQ guy, but his takes are either, it's like he's trying to be a high IQ with all his takes, and they're either really shit takes or really brilliant takes.
Sometimes I don't know what he's talking about, but every now and then he has a take where it's actually pretty good, and I learn a thing or two sometimes.
Yeah.
But either way, like the whole CBD thing on Twitter, I'll go ahead and just say that now. I think that shit's a hard meme for most people because it's all like it's never 1 + 1 = 2. It's like all discretionary because of all these things are going on. It means this, so it can never be these guys are buying, therefore it's bullish or bearish. So you're not going to interpret it correctly most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I always show people on just doing order flow for the really low time frame stuff, because the higher the time frame is, the more likely you're going to be wrong, because there's like all these variables and shit now.
Totally, man.
And you're not going to be Rain Man where you keep everybody's fucking positions in your head and goes, oh, well, this guy's going to be under pressure when we trade over to here. Like, you're not going to do that, right? You're not. It's not even, there's no sense in trying to be that person.
Exactly. So I said yesterday, the CVD. I look at the CVD, but it's about the distribution of where those orders come in and the size of them. Is it small orders into big orders? Is it big orders into small orders? Like, that's the important stuff. And from what I saw, it was a lot of short covering, with a smattering of small sort of people gambling on upside. And it was just getting swatted by big limit orders getting filled, which is why I didn't get any traction and we broke down. Basically, that's how I interpret it. So
Kind of random, but I think it's interesting how many people come into stream chats and then ask people to give opinions on other people. What do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? I think
I
it's
don't
interesting.
mind. I think it's probably because I'm very honest. That's what I ask here. I don't mind. I'm not going to kiss anyone's ass. And then, to be honest, like even saying me saying something negative about someone doesn't mean I don't dislike them. I like most people, but like if I think your takes are wrong, I'll just say your takes are wrong. I think there's too much kiss arsery in CT where someone will post something and then they'll get a false sort of sense of confidence because everyone just openly agrees with them even when they might not. You're going to learn more if you go, actually no, I think this take's wrong, and they might be like, okay, let me look into it.
That's a classic internet autist move right there that most people aren't ready for, that you actually intentionally argue with somebody just to learn more.
Yeah.
Most people aren't ready for that.
And also, like, I wish people would argue more with my take so I can learn, because basically the only time I ever put a take out is when I can really back it with hard data. That's it. Otherwise I won't post it. But if people want to disagree with me, I love it. I love it. Personally. Thoughts on R. Kelly? Yeah, you got 30 years in prison if you're not in the loop.
Yo, Chad P.O., whoever you are. Chad indeed.
What's the name? Ghislaine Maxwell got 20 years. R. Kelly got 30.
Wait, she got sentenced though? That's good at least. I thought she was gonna get a slap on the wrist. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna weigh into what sentencing should be or anything. I'll just straight up say that that's good that that bitch got what she deserved though.
Yeah.
It's very weird how we like choose who to put blame on in these scenarios when, I mean, come on. You're with a dude for a long time. You're gonna tell me that you don't know what that dude does? You'd have to be a stupid woman to be with somebody for a long time and not care about what they do, right? You just, oh yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah. No, so it was beginning with R, Jim. Yeah, don't say the R word, the R. Kelly word. Imagine I get an email through from Twitch, you're banned for saying R. Kelly. Right, guys, I think we might wrap it up there. You got any sort of ending thoughts, Magus? Maybe on how to approach the market or life in general?
I would like I don't know, just make something up quick little, how to not suck at trading. You gotta just be like if you look at the thing from my visualized alpha paper that like he put out this week, I just retweeted one of the quotes. Nobody cares about what you can do; they only care about what you've done. So something I had a huge issue with when I was younger was I would think highly of myself and then think everybody else should think the same because I'm smart or whatever. And then somewhere along the line, I realized that nobody cares about what you can do. You need to do things, and then people will care. So that's what I'll leave you guys with. Start doing shit and stop going around thinking that you're smart and better than everybody. Start doing things to show everybody that you're better actually, and then the world will care.
Totally agree, mate. It's better to be slightly insecure about yourself because it'll push you to work harder. If you think you're already there, that that's not contemplation. What's the word?
Slightly insecure, not fully, right? Because then you're
Yeah,
in it to do things.
a bit of self doubt's good because it drives you to improve yourself. Anyway, thanks for reviewing your scalp trade, Jim. Pleasure. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Always good to chat. I'll be back. Oh, in fact, I'll say it now. Just a bit of an exclusive. I've got David Bell coming on next Wednesday, and we're gonna pick his brain on macro and property market like you all asked for yesterday. So that's gonna be a banger. So, right on that, I'll leave you guys. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next week.